Yep, I was one of them. Long dresses, head covered, walking around like a robot. Everything was a sin. Then couldn't go to the movies. You had to ask someone, should I go or should I stay? Didn't have a mind of my own. Thought I was too sanctified to treat my alcoholic husband that I shouldn't have married properly. Yeah, ran to get prophecy for every little thing. I was one of them. I believed in the prophet more than I believed in God. I knew the prophet's Jesus, but I didn't know the real Jesus. I thought I had a whole lot of friends who claimed to be prayer partners and who would be and remain in my life for a lifetime. And then one day I woke up and I stepped away from the cult by the grace of God and by the hand of God. I had to shut down. I had to cut them all off. Why? Not because I thought that I was better than them, like my spirit was trained to think that we were better than the Baptists, better than the Methodists, better than anybody else. If you weren't a part of our group in our church, you just weren't good enough. I stepped away because the hand of God led me away. I shut down, I cut off everybody, and I began to seek God for myself. I got to know him for who he really is, not somebody else's Jesus, not the man-made Jesus, not walking around in bondage. I had to start from the ground up. He taught me who he is. I found out who he really is when I started suffering and going through a whole lot of stuff. And I couldn't call anybody, couldn't dial a prophet, couldn't call anybody, couldn't get in anybody's prayer line. Nobody rubbed a bunch of oil on my head. I couldn't receive any, thus said the Lord. He wouldn't allow me to. And if I tried to do it, it brought trouble. I kept my ear to him, to his voice. Kept my eyes and my spirit in his word. And I begged and pleaded, God, show me who you really are, because I do not want to be lost. I don't want to be deceived. I don't want to think that I know you and find out and I stand before you and hear you say, depart from me, I know you not. Be prophesying in your name, laying hands in your name, doing all of this in the name, but not in the right spirit. It was hard. Yep, got lonely. Wish I could have went to a night service just to get some release. But the Holy Ghost, the real Holy Ghost was talking. Now he said, you stay off that ground and you're going to learn who I am. And I did. And he gave me a brand new life. I gave up all that other stuff. I said, Lord, I don't want to operate in any gifts of the Spirit that didn't come from you. I asked him to deliver me from all that holy hocus pocus, from the spirit of fear, from the spirit of control, and prophetic witchcraft spells. There was a lot of deep prayer and going on and warring in the spirit going on in my world. And I began to know the real Jesus. All of that other kingdom, he tore it down. I humbled myself to know him. And I found out that the God that I was served, he wasn't the real deal. And I turned to the real God. My life got better. My body got healed. My mind got healed. My spirit got healed. Because that's what he does. He sent his word to heal. It wasn't easy in the natural realm, but once I got to know him and bow down to the true and the living God, I knew I would never turn back. Yep, I looked like I was 80 years old. And if I tried to make myself attractive, I was being the sinner. But thank God, I'm no longer serving that man-made, hand-me-down Jesus. I know the real deal now. Don't let the devil trick you. Get to know him for yourself. And leave these man-made prophets alone.